I lived in Michael Stipe's apartment
What?
when I first got to New York. He did not know I was living in his...
It was just sort of a bit of a Groundhog Day shoot, wasn't it?
Yeah, we have a very, very, very intense director
Mm-hmm.
who, likes to go swimming in the frigid Isa River in the morning before showing up pink to work.
And cool.
Your energy, you're a morning person,
Yeah, well,
clearly. Whenever I've met a
way to get rid of us.
musician, it's, to me, actors are rather dull compared to musicians. Yeah. Musicians do something.
But a
They
lot of
do.
musicians want to be actors, a lot of actors want to be
Yeah,
musicians.
it's
I guess
the
that's
same
true.
as straight and curly hair, isn't it? You want the thing you haven't
Very
got.
much the same. I've always thought that. Pete, who do you play?
Rune Ulrich. And I predict that Rune is going to become a popular name. He was running the show down there, and they had this live camera that was pointed at that was meant for sports. And then when this hostage crisis happened, they just turned the camera onto the balcony. But what Rune was really known for was really making your seat at home watching sport the best seat in the house.
Yeah.
Not even being there.
They now start together in the historical thriller September 5 in cinemas from Friday. So as we wait for the brilliant Ben Chaplin, please welcome Super Peter Sarsgaard.
All right, Peter! Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. We're the morning guys, can't you tell?
We're always waiting on Ben Chaplin.
You know, in the movies when they have like a radio show and then somebody reluctantly goes to see the morning guys and the morning guys are really annoying and people think it's not really like that. It is really like that, isn't it?
How do you guys start off your day? Like, what do you start it with? Is it just
Cold
coffee?
plunges.
Yeah.
Already
I
been for
figured
runs.
Something stronger.
Seriously.
Are you both runners?
Yeah, massive.
Oh, really?
Yeah, huge.
I was a very, very big runner until I hit 50.
See, now for me it was the other way around. I didn't start till I was 47. He's been running forever. Tell Peter, impress him with your biggest run, Vassos.
Oh,
One of the many.
I run very long distances, Peter. I once ran from Athens to Sparta, this historic ultramarathon in Greece, which was like 155 miles.
With
My...
a massive...
mountain in the middle.
Yeah, no, I know the race very well. My friend Scott Jurek, who
Yes, he's won it twice.
he's won it.
Hang on, what do you mean,
Yeah,
my friend
yeah.
Scott Jurek?
He's a very, very good friend of mine.
How does that happen?
That happened because many years ago they were going to do the book Born to Run into a movie, and I worked on developing it for a while, and I met a couple of the guys in it, Scott and Caballo Blanco, who was in it.
Yeah, of
and,
course.
Chris, who wrote it, and then Scott and I just ended up being friends. I went to his wedding. I see him all the time.
What about that's one of those books that got optioned but didn't get made.
It was very difficult to make. Some
Yeah.
things are just a book, aren't they?
Well, you would know. Some things are just a book, aren't
No, it's actually, I think a lot of times the things that make the best stories are short stories.
Yeah.
Like a novel is just way too large for a movie.
they? Yeah,
typically.
suppose so. One of my favourite films is Wonder. Have you ever seen that film, Wonder?
I don't know.
Wonder, Wanda. Have you not seen that film, Wonder?
Oh, no.
I hope you have, because it was one of your top closet picks.
Oh, Wanda, that one.
Yes.
It's your accent.
Sorry.
I'm hearing Wonder.
No, Wonder.
Wanda. That's
a
a fantastic movie.
Another film I saw last week was True Stories.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
You like that?
Yeah.
Is that in your top picks?
And that's also on my top picks.
Yeah.
Are you going down my
I
closet
watched
picks
Eating
of Criterion?
Raoul as well.
Eating Raoul's an incredible movie.
Do you know what? It's so funny because I thought you were coming on the show on Friday and I thought you were coming on your own. And so I watched your film on Thursday and then I took a deep dive into you generally.
Yeah.
And then your picks were so good, right?
Uh-huh.
I wrote them down and then I was told you weren't coming until today. So I had time to watch these films. So I actually watched some of these films. So thank you.
I love Eating Raoul. I love that movie so much. I think that's ready for a re-release.
Well, this Closet Picks thing you did. Sorry, we'll get on to September 5 in a moment. We've got loads
Sure.
to talk about. Just tell people about Closet Picks because it's really fantastic.
Yeah, so at Criterion, they just have different people go into their closet where they have all of the Criterion movies, and you pick your favorites. I think it's 5.
Yeah,
or
on
something.
DVD, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, nobody uses DVD
Yeah, but it's
anymore,
nice.
do they?
It's a nice thing, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
nice.
because you can see it.
Yeah.
And a lot of those movies that I picked, I probably picked Night Porter.
You
also.
did pick Night Porter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember all the ones I picked, but these are movies that I saw typically on television when I was a kid because there was a show called the South Bank Show on Bravo, back when Bravo used to be the artistic channel, and I was living in like Oklahoma.
Right.
And I could see these movies that I couldn't see any other way.
Was that the British South Bank show?
Yeah, it was.
With Melvin Bragg?
Yeah.
Because we're on the South Bank now.
Yeah, I do.
This
know
is
that.
the South Bank.
Yeah,
So I didn't know.
I've come full circle.
Yeah.
And they had all these, I was exposed to a lot of different interesting
and quirky
things.
stuff as well. I mean, I didn't even know that David Byrne had been in that movie True Stories, and
Yeah.
I watched that. That's a crazy.
Oh,
film.
he's amazing. That's a great film.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great film for a Sunday morning.
Yeah. All right. So you're in this film September 5, and it's out across the UK on Friday. Oh, we have another September 5er. Hi, Ben. How are you? Nice to see you, Ben. Ben Chaplin. Round of applause for Ben Chaplin. Don't shortchange him.
Oh, please.
So, Ben, we're done. Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Ben. That was great.
That was a bit late.
We're just getting into the movie actually. September 5. Who wants to frame it? Ben, you're late, so you've got to pay your detention, pay your dues.
Say I'm late, but I did everything on time. I didn't keep anybody waiting.
No, it doesn't
blame
matter.
it on.
Sorry,
something
I
else.
don't mean to be so accused street, but I am being accused
Yeah,
street.
no, please do.
Yeah, Peter came and said he's stuck in the English traffic, which is strange
Just say it like that.
because he's
Stuck
English.
in the English.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
So why don't you frame it for people? Because this film is a brilliant movie.
You like it, good. How do I frame it? It's the Munich 72 terrorist attack on the Palestinian attack on the 72 Olympics from the point of view of the people that happened to be covering it, which was the ABC Sports Network, which is just an odd coincidence, a truth that at the same time it was the first ever broadcast that was global and live.
It's the first ever live Olympics broadcast, and then it became the biggest news story ever to unfold live on television.
Exactly.
900 million people watched it.
An extraordinary 24 hours and beyond. And it's all encapsulated in this film in under 2 hours, mostly in this one particular room, which is a room that's been sort of changed into a TV gallery for the broadcast. Who do you play, Ben?
I play Marvin Bader, who was the ABC head of logistics, chief of operations.
Right, and Pete, who do you play?
Rune Ulrich. And I predict that Rune is going to become a popular name.
You think he's that popular? You think you're that charming?
I think he was considered one of the great influencers of 20th century media. Really a phenomenally talented guy. But he was running the show down there, and they had this live camera that was pointed at that was meant for sports, and then when this hostage crisis happened, they just turned the camera onto the balcony. I mean, but what Rune was really known for was really making your seat at home watching sport the best seat in the house.
Yeah.
Not even being there. Mm-hmm. So you'd have, on-field interviews and all that type of stuff, and live cameras, and feel like you were there, but it would be even better than being there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And he was the first person to realise how big sport could be on television. I mean, look at it now. Netflix have just signed this massive deal, haven't they? And Netflix's quarterly earnings are through the roof, and the share price is through the roof because they've just acquired live sport, and it's I think it's mixed martial arts, and then they had the big Jake Paul bout and all this kind of stuff. And it's still going on. As if it can be even bigger still, and it's becoming even bigger still. But this guy knew stuff. He just knew. It wasn't necessarily about the action on the field. It was about what was going on beforehand, what were the fans doing, what was the team picks,
where was he from? Think of the Olympics. No member of my family really watches much sport, but when the Olympics come on, and that whole idea of where are they from? Who are the parents?
Yeah.
What's the background?
Story
all the way.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like Wimbledon, isn't it? I mean, we do like tennis here in the UK, but we only really watch it when Wimbledon's on. But then we watch, or maybe if Wimbledon wasn't on, we'd just watch it a bit every week. But because it's like having a smoothie, isn't it? Just having too much sugar all at once. It's not as good for you.
We also don't have enough indoor courts for a country with the weather we have.
Yeah.
Because a wet court doesn't have to be raining. A wet court is enough to bug your balls.
Does it change if it's an English player playing?
Oh yeah, I mean the English have delusional, belief that an English or British person should be winning.
Yeah, of course.
But actually, it's quite rare. I mean, Italians haven't had one for donkey's years, have they, until now?
Anyway, away from tennis. Sorry, my fault. Absolutely 100% my fault. So this it is an amazing film for so many different reasons. It's so gripping. I mean, I was so anxious watching it, which I suppose is the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then as I say, I remember it happening. I was only 6, but I remember it happening because it was such a big deal. But I don't remember what happened. And you can remember something happening without remembering what happened.
I think a lot of people are that way, and there are actually some things that happen along the way about the way that it was reported that I think that really surprise everyone.
I think seeing it, I was surprised that it's this grip. Seeing it, I was surprised how gripping it was. I wasn't expecting that from shooting it, that it would be this. I mean, it's relentless, isn't it?
Oh God,
Absolutely
pressure cooker
relentless,
and some, you know. And the thing about, I know I've read all the interviews about the fact that the TV gallery, your brilliant director, they weren't flyaway walls. It was a real room. Once you're in there as an actor, and you could really feel the pressure. And I thought what was amazing, without getting too nerdy about it, because I've seen it and other people haven't, is the fact that, you know, the continuity thing, to keep the pressure, because I presume it took a few weeks for you to film those sequences. But of course, it's all got to look like it happened in the same few hours. I mean, how'd you do that?
It was just sort of a bit of a Groundhog Day shoot, wasn't it?
Yeah, we have a very, very, very intense director who, you know, likes to go swimming in the frigid Isa River in the morning before showing up pink to work.
And cool.
Your energy, you're a morning person, clearly.
And
he's a morning person.
And he's in. I don't want to tell his age, but he's in his middle age and he looks about 12.
Yeah, he's Swiss.
He's a walking advertisement for cold water swimming.
He's very Swiss.
Yeah,
he's very Roger
He's very
Federer.
precise. very genius at work.
All right, so there is a third sort of protagonist in the hierarchical ABC setup, isn't there? Because there's you, and then there's the guy who plays. He's the on-air producer.
Yeah.
I mean, God, the calls that poor guy had to make back in the day.
And it's his first shift as well, right?
Yeah, and this is all mixed in. What you do with your sort of recreation of it, it's mixed in with real footage. The real anchor guy is on screen. Tell us about him.
Yeah, Jim McKay. I mean,
and what we see of him is him.
That's him. And the reason that Jim McKay plays Jim McKay is, you know, talking about this with the director, is that any actor that played that part would have really not delivered. There's something very humble about the way that he handles his job. That's not self-aggrandizing. That's the type of TV anchor that I don't see anymore, where they just sort of let the information come through them, and it's not about their reaction to it.
It's not about selling the news.
Yeah, and we couldn't find an actor to do that. That's all of us included. So we used him, and that was really one of the selling points for me about doing this movie to begin with, is I was like, right, that's our conscience. That's our leading man.
Yeah.
And once I knew that we had that really firm conscience, especially on this, you know, these events are ongoing. Let's face it. You know, this is a war that, you know, just goes on and on and on. That it was really important that we had that.
It set a level of reality and truthful that was real, authentic to the time, and it sort of set that tone for the rest of us to match and try and be as real.
And the lady who plays, is she playing the German interpreter?
Yeah.
Okay, so who is? Because that's an amazing performance. Was that a real person? Does that person exist within the story?
No, that's a character that was cobbled together from a different... Yeah.
Tell us about her. Tell us about that role. Tell us about everything that goes on there. Because there are heroes all over the place here.
Her name's Leonie Benesch. A very fine German actress that was in what was the movie? Teacher's Lounge.
She was in Teacher's Lounge like 2 years ago. Fantastic movie. She was also, as a young lady, she was in White Ribbon, the incredible movie.
Michael Haneke.
Yeah, incredible movie.
Right, and tell us about the phone that's off the hook the whole time. Because Peter Jennings, the anchorman for ABC Sport, who was due to be there anyway, is the superstar sort of sports anchor or screen presence. Yeah. So he's in the village. The village is now the Olympic Village is in lockdown. The Olympics carry on.
Yeah.
which
The
is so
Olympics
bizarre.
carry on.
No, it's strange,
200
isn't
or
it?
300 feet away. Actually, the nearest event is so close. All the athletes who are still in the village are having what looks like a picnic. It's not, but it's an outdoor breakfast.
Yeah.
While this terrible thing, this heinous thing is going on just a few feet away. And Peter Jennings is reporting so out of vision on a telephone.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And on a telephone, and we're sort of putting walkies next to it to go to the translator and so on. Yeah.
And there's a guy that's sneaking in and out the whole time. Is it?
yeah, that. I
They
mean,
carry the film. Yeah.
Tell us about that.
I don't. Do you know much about that? Is it true? Was it real?
It is true.
It did happen.
That did happen. Yeah, one of the people that worked with the network dressed up as an athlete, and and managed to go back and forth and carry
With
the
a fake
film.
ID in.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole
Which
thing.
they- I guess
I mean, they actually dressed him up like an athlete, and it worked. I mean, this is.
And there's CCTV of him being challenged at the sort of pass patrol area.
Yeah, I mean, this is a different world, right? You couldn't really do that
Crazy,
anymore. The
man.
way that things,
100%
the way
crazy.
that things.
Jeez. And tell us about all the gear as well, because I love all the gear.
Well, that was you got really the director was obsessed with that, wasn't he, Peter?
To a
to
point
a
that-
level that was.
Beyond everything, all of this equipment and all the different rooms a lot of it was functional, all of it was pristine, and it turns out that there are these hobbyists that love all this analog equipment,
And it all
so
worked.
it was not difficult to find.
Really, all the screens worked. Every button you press
Yeah,
worked.
and usually on a movie like this, the bank of monitors behind us would be green, right? And they would fill it in later so that it would match. He just had it on the real footage
stuff.
all the time playing behind us. So it all felt
The other thing was
pretty real.
the whole sound stage that we were on in Munich. You went, through the door that would normally be the outside bit before you get on the set.
Yeah.
You were basically on set when you walked through
Right.
the stage door. So you were in the studio from the moment. That corridor that we run down occasionally, where Rune's office is at one end and the studio's at the other, it was literally physically a bit like walking in here. It was no.
Yeah.
So when you got to work, you got to work. You were at the studio. So that stuff by osmosis goes into you.
Was
So
it
when
hot in there?
it ended up hot in
Was it
there.
smelly?
nasty. It was nasty.
It's just humid.
It was
humid.
nasty.
It was like be like this with about 100 people. 100
Yeah, and
people.
a lot
We've had
more
100
smoke.
people in here. It does get a bit sticky
Yeah.
sometimes, doesn't it?
And also we had so much so much smoke in there.
Yeah.
All the time. It's one of the smokiest.
And by the way,
films
everybody
I've
smoked
worked
all
on.
the time, didn't they?
They did. I mean, I tried to avoid smoking if ever possible.
We look super fit, by the way. We had a semi-running chat. A semi-running chat. Yeah, so Sarsgaard here says he gave up running when he was 50. Most people start when they're 50. This is the inverse.
By the way, I ran a 50K, which is one time around Manhattan once. I did it with
round of
Scott.
applause for that. Round of applause.
Yeah, come on.
Round of applause.
There you go.
for that.
I am gonna say the running was fine. I was fit enough and everything. It's really about the chafing in the end, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't run. 'Cause I'm just achy enough.
But you look super fit, man.
Pilates, man.
Pilates.
Yeah.
That's what they say, isn't it?
I've been doing it. I do it all the time, and I don't enjoy it really. 'Cause I enjoy how I feel as a result of it, like
Yeah.
not having a bad back. That's why I started it. It was
Right.
bad back.
How do you feel? So you're 55 now, I think?
56.
56.
Yeah. I'm a
and
69er.
So we're our sort of not target audience. The audience we're lumped with.
We look amazing on radio.
We're
though, don't we?
45 to 65. So have you got any hacks? Any for people listening? Because you do look extraordinarily well.
Pilates. If
Pilates.
you have a bad back, or which most people end up having at some point,
Mm-hmm.
then it's like it'll just what you spend on Pilates you won't be spending on a back doctor,
Right.
And you'll have a better quality of life. It's just that it's a bit like it's not torture. It's you feel good afterwards. It's just it's not fun.
What about your drinking and eating and things?
Oh, I still drink.
Do you?
Yeah.
You've got such snowy white eyes. It's like you've
the
never
eye-
had a drink in your life.
That's because I got groomed at the hotel before I.
Oh my God!
I got
we need to visit whoever that hair and makeup splash and dash.
Well, it's eye
team
drops
were.
as well, not eye whitening ones though.
Yeah.
But you look fantastic yourself. Look at you.
Well, I haven't had a drink
magnificent
for 2
shape.
years. You're part of the gang, aren't you?
What?
You haven't had a drink for ages. have
He
you?
drinks.
I did. I
Have you
didn't.
fallen off the wagon?
I've fallen off, gotten
congratulations.
back on. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Can we have a round of applause for that, please?
I did it in Poland. It was wonderful. It's a great place
Well, if
to
you're
fall
going to
off the
fall off
wagon.
anywhere, you fall off in Poland.
I fell off in Poland.
I'm
It's
on
safer
it.
than the water, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I fell off, but
They
it
all say
wasn't
that.
catastrophic. No,
Oh,
the
right.
drink in the morning helps with the ice,
So
doesn't
hang on a
it?
minute. So you were super fit. You didn't drink. Now you've stopped running and you're back on the booze.
He is fit though, because he's cycling.
I'm
When we
very
were
fit.
doing,
Are you?
when we were doing this movie, he was cycling to the studio, and it was a good.
Yeah,
It was a good
It was,
100 yards.
it was like a 40-minute drive. So he's cycling to the studio.
No,
And,
fair
we need some actors that are not fit, don't
yeah,
we?
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
We need some actors that are bald. All the actors
Yeah.
are on drugs that
By
keep
the
them
way,
from
you
losing
do
their
bald
hair.
very well.
Thank you.
Because
Thank you.
what were you?
He's not-
Yeah.
Were you shaved for something? Didn't you?
Yeah, I've shaved for Batman bald.
Okay, but you were shaven in the closet.
That's because I just done Batman.
All right. Do you know about the closet? The closet pics.
In Criterion Closet Pics.
No.
You don't know about this?
Is this Criterion film?
Yes.
Yeah, I know about.
You go into their closet and you pick out
When he was
your
in the closet,
pick.
he was. I thought you looked a bit like Michael Stipe. Is that okay?
Oh.
You okay with that?
Well, thank you very much. Yeah. I'll have to get my soda voce going.
By the way, how great are REM? Just how great are REM?
REM.
Have you seen REM?
I have
Never seen them
REM.
live.
I'm going to tell
Have you seen them live?
Yeah, I saw them at Milton Keynes, I think. Wow.
I lived in Michael Stipe's apartment
What?
when I first got to New York, but he had not furnished it, so I was living in an
How
empty
dare he.
apartment. He did not know I was living in his apartment
Hang on, tell us about this.
because he had this friend, Julie Penabianco, who's sort of like a docent to New York, this woman, to anyone who comes.
Excuse me, what's a docent?
Like a person that shows you through a museum.
Nice.
So she, I was in New York and she took me around to all these different places and it was really fun. And then she said, "Oh, my friend is Michael Stipe and he lives above me." And I said, "Oh, that's cool. I'm looking for a place to stay." And she said, "There's no furniture, but you can stay in there." So I lived there for a while. Michael knows this is not.
Please tell us. Was it a warehouse apartment? Did it have high ceilings? Did it have arched
no,
windows?
it was not what you think. It was in the far west village in New York. It kind of looked out at the river. It was very pretty spot, but it was a very modest apartment.
Anybody else got a Michael Stipe story for the big dog?
I met him a couple of times.
Come on, tell us about your.
I met him once.
Did you
in
tell him that Peter had
Bungalow 8?
There you
back
go.
in the day,
Yeah.
wouldn't it?
Bungalow 8 nightclub?
Bungalow 8 nightclub in Manhattan.
Nice.
And then I bumped into him somewhere in London.
It's not shy.
No, he's not shy. No,
I
he
saw-
doesn't do small talk.
Is he shy? Is he not shy?
No, he's
Is it? Why you two? This is naughty giggling at the back.
He's pretty confident.
Is he?
Yeah.
I saw him
He's
once.
quite comfortable with who he is, isn't he?
I went to see Bruce Springsteen on Broadway, and my mate said, "Do you want to come and meet Bruce?" I went, "What, the guy we've just watched on stage?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "How come?" He said, "I know him." I said, "But I've known you for 35 years. You've never told me you knew him until now." And so we did go backstage, and we did meet Bruce Springsteen. And the only other person there was actually two people: Michael Stipe and the producer of who's a really famous film producer, did Top Gun.
Oh, Bruckheimer.
Yeah, he was there as well.
Oh.
That was it. 4 of us. It was really weird. I said,
That is a bit odd,
we
isn't
need
it?
to go now.
I mean, there's something about musicians.
Did he carry on playing?
No. He's good.
Whenever I've met a
Couldn't wait to get rid of us.
musician, it's to me. I mean, actors are rather dull compared to musicians. Musicians do something.
But a
They
lot of
do.
musicians want to be actors. A lot of actors want to be
Yeah,
musicians.
it's the
is,
same as straight and curly hair, isn't it? You want the thing you haven't
Very
got.
much the same. I've always thought that.
But I was always jealous of my brother's straight hair, and then mine was wavy. But but there's this tradition in New York, because we're talking about, because it was on Broadway, and
Right.
I've played Broadway. Peter's played Broadway. In London, like if someone comes backstage to your dressing room, it's just kind of they ask. You know, in New York, if someone is a celebrity, they just get sent, and you get told they're on the way.
Right.
When you're, and you just want to leave your dressing room.
Oh my gosh.
Like you want to leave
and they
work.
don't want to come. They want to get home.
And then they come, and then they.
Oh,
it's also
no.
in their defence. They're coming because they feel they should, in case they've been seen
Right, it's a
there.
different thing.
Or
You're on a list.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know that they know that you're there.
All right. Well, hang on a minute. 'Cause obviously, you can speak more to this. So you've played successfully on Broadway. So have you, Pete. Who's come back?
okay. Bridget Fonda, who I didn't know, John Travolta's wife, who's now dead, isn't she? Is she?
Yeah.
Kelly Preston?
Yeah, I think so.
She came back, didn't know her. What was Tatum O'Neal's daughter's name?
You're quizzing me on things I don't.
Tatum O'Neal. I just said her name.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were asking for Tatum.
You meant John McEnroe's
I meant
daughter.
John McEnroe's daughter, yeah.
Yeah, we made Do you know what? That leap wasn't there to be made, but
James
I
Earl
made
Jones came backstage.
Pretty cool.
Who's the really tall Frank Langella came backstage.
Kevin Kline came back.
All these people I've never met.
for a part that he had played that I was playing.
It. By the way, you look like
which
a young
is-
Kevin Kline.
Well,
he's
Fish Called Wonder, right?
John Voight. There's another one. All those people.
Fish Called Wonder. You know the balcony that he held over there.
Oh no
Just
way!
down there.
Come on, let's go.
You can go now.
I love that movie.
It's a great film.
I love that movie.
I love you too, and I love your film. September 5 out this Friday, 6th of Feb. It is squeaky bottom movie. It's so anxious though.
So proud of it.
20 minutes, first 30 minutes, 25 minutes, you're in, you think, yeah, I get it. This is nice, and then it gets like, whoa, what the heck is going to happen here? And I had no idea, and I thought I knew, but I didn't.
Yeah.
There you go.
I like that it's like a little diamond. I mean, the way that he made it, it's so clean and well made.
Well, hats off to you two. We've got to go now. Is there anything you can't tell us about quickly?
Can't tell us about.
Yeah, not to do with this. Anything else? Anything else? Are you working on anything you can't tell us about? Yes or no?
Yes.
Great. Peter, are you working on anything you can't tell us about?
Sure.
Excellent. Perfect. Thank you, gentlemen. Goodbye. September 5 out this Friday, 6th of Feb. Watch it. It's fan-flipping-tastic.